All right, today we have an Okamoto. This is a 8x20 ST. This is their Grindex line. It's an 8x20 size magnet. It's equipped with a Sony digital readout for the X and Y axis. That's your vertical axis, and your saddle moving across the magnet, or your wheel moving across the magnet. It's wired for 220 volts, 230 volts, 3-phase. You got a nice large cooling system here, so you can really flood the thing. Paper band automatically advances the paper, and the water just goes in this trough as it goes back and forth. You've got a couple of dogs on the side here that you can adjust for the length of the stroke, and dogs here to adjust for the table stroke. You've got a hand wheel here to manually go up or go down. You've got a hand wheel here to manually go in or go out. You can lock this knob in the center down, and then you can have a fine feed dial. If you notice the DRO up there, I can go in tenths at a time with that. And then this, of course, is your longitudinal hand wheel for moving the table. So your magnetic chuck, this is a fine pole chuck. The lines run horizontally from left to right, and this enables you to hold smaller parts than if you had lines going in the opposite direction from front to back and spaced further apart. So that's a good chuck for doing small work pieces. The chuck controller is built into the machine, and the control for the chuck is on the operator's panel itself. The green light being on means your chuck is on. You shut it off there, and you demag it there when it's blinking. We turn it back on. Over here is your hydraulics. We start the hydraulics up. The next button is your spindle. Start the spindle. It's very quiet. And then you have your coolant pump, a dust collector if you had one. So now we start the table moving. Cross slide will move once I pull that out. That's a safety. So you see that stepping each time we reverse. You can see it up on the DRO. And again, this is going to move to wherever I have these two dogs set to. And now it should reverse. And when it does reverse, you'll notice over here that it feeds. So this is the automatic surface grinding mode. You can adjust on the side of the hand wheel here how much it feeds. And you can adjust the dial to be that many thousandths away from your final size. So you touch off your part, you measure it, you find out how much material you need to remove, then you bring the wheel back down, you set your dial to the amount you need to remove, lock the dial in place, and start this to feed. So it has two modes. This is the surface grinding mode, where this is going to go back and forth. And the amount that it goes back and forth each time can be adjusted with this knob here, from almost down to nothing to up to a fairly large step. The table speed is controlled here. And the other mode that it has is a plunge grinding mode, which will stop the table or the saddle from moving, and you just have your vertical. So if you watch the hand wheel now, we're feeding at both ends of the magnet. We're feeding quite a lot just for the video. You can also feed only on one end of the magnet, just in case that's too much. And then the more I adjust over here, the smaller of amount of a feed I can get, down to only a few tenths or a tenth. When it gets to 0, let's just let it go. When it gets to 0, it will stop feeding. Right there. And start doing a certain number of sparkouts that you set, and then it comes to a stop. So that's the full cycle. Well, that's it. That's the Okamoto ACC 820 ST, the Grindex series. This is original factory paint, 230 volts, Wheel is a 7-inch diameter wheel with an 1.25 inch bore. It uses basic surface grinder collets like you would find on any small hand feed type surface grinder, using a wheel with an 1.25 inch bore. Inside of the machine itself is the reservoir for the hydraulic oil and the pump. So there's no external hydraulic unit, so you only have these two pieces. Okay, thank you very much.